is Jackie Williams and welcome to the Global Video Hop. And this month we're all focusing on home decor projects that you can do with your Stampin' Up! Products. So I want to show you how you can alter candles, perfect for your own home or for gift giving. So the first thing you want to do after purchasing a candle, and it needs to be one that's in a glass container or jar, the first thing you want to do is remove any of the labels and all of the sticky things that might be on the outside of the jar. Then the next thing I want to do with you is put some gold leafing around the rim. Now all of this of course is completely optional, but I think it looks quite good. And I'm going to use my heat and stick powder. So the first thing we want to do is take our Versamark and just dab that around the rim of the candle. And then we're going to use our heat and stick. And after doing this a few times, I found actually the easiest thing is to just dip the candle actually into the powder. And then just check to make sure you've got enough on there. And then as the name kind of implies, what we're going to do is heat this and then it becomes sticky rather than just powder. So you want to heat it just until that powder melts and becomes clear and not any longer, or it might lose its stick. Now, after heating our powder, we want to put on the gold leaf, and you can see that I have my gold leaf in a large container, and I just found it was easiest to again just drop it into the gold leaf, and it will look quite funny at this point. It will be quite excessive. And I liked to kind of press it down and make sure that gold leaf was sticking quite well to the part where I want it to be. And then just use something soft, like a sponge or a soft brush to brush off the excess. Now our gold leafing is on the rim, and you can see that my job is a little bit patchy and a little bit rough. I like it that way, so I'm going to leave it. However, you could continue to put on more layers until it was completely smooth. And if you wanted it more smooth and shiny, you could just keep rubbing it with your fingers or with a brush or sponge to get it really smooth looking. You'll also notice that I've got some little bits of gold leaf still there in the candle. You could brush those out, but I actually am quite happy to have those in there. I think it just adds a little something to the inside of the candle too. Now to decorate the inside of the candle, there are numerous choices and even more than what I'm mentioning, no doubt. So if you want to use some of our Stampin' Up! Product, you'll want to use something that's metal or not flammable. And right now we have these gold bumblebees, so we're going to be using those. Another option is you can use crystal chips or gemstones. These chips though are like just the right size to go in there, and they're not very expensive when they're in small pieces like this. So I have some different gemstones. My daughter could tell you what they all were, but I can't. But they all have different meanings. So you could actually use these and personalize them to the person that you're giving them to. Another option is to use seashells. So I went to the beach over the weekend with my daughter and collected up some seashells for this project. And you could use them whole in your candle, or put a few of them in a plastic bag and crush them up a bit so that you get like seashell chips. And you could mix them with your gemstones and with your embellishments and different things. I'll show you some samples at the end. So for this project, I'm going to use some of the gemstones. I only know that this one's called Blue Lace, and some of the bumblebees. And what I would recommend is that you arrange them either on your paper or inside your candle, and then take a photograph. And then when we place them back into the candle, you can kind of just follow the photograph. So I'm just going to arrange them, I think, here on the paper, something like this. I want the little ones at the end, I think. And you don't want like same all together. Then what we want to do is make our wax soft. So the good thing about the Stampin' Up! Heat tool is it has two settings. You'll want to use the lower setting, if I can. There we go. And just start getting the wax soft enough that you can push something down into it. And you'll need to do this in stages. Now, after making a few of these, I found it's best to do the bumblebees actually last, because they aren't or they're more shallow than the rocks. So if you do them first, then as you're putting in the rocks and melting and remelting the wax, the bumblebees will just keep sinking lower and lower, and they end up getting like buried. So you want to do the rocks first, so just leave a place for your bumblebees. There we go. Then once they're all in there and placed and pretty secure, it depends how much you've heated it, but if your wax looks a little bit wavy or lumpy, you can just go back over it on a low setting and just kind of remelt the top and just kind of smooth it out a little bit. But of course, just be careful that you're only melting kind of just that top layer. There we go. And there we are. Now you do have the option, you could add some more of the Stampin' Up! Embellishment, some of the little pearls and things. I just wouldn't put them too close to the wick because I believe they're plastic and they might actually be flammable if they were next to the flame. Then from there, we just want to add some ribbon and a little tag ready for gift giving. And I experimented quite a bit with various ribbons and things, and I decided that I liked the diamond weave ribbon the very best with this particular color of glass and these color of gems and the gold. Our gold ribbon is actually quite a different gold than the gold leaf and the bees, so it didn't look quite right. So what you want to do is just wrap it around your candle and then give yourself some extra to tie a bow with. And I'm going to put it more up towards the top of the candle. Let me just tip it this way so that I've got room for the tag to hang down without it going below the candle, if that makes sense. And I will put a glue dot underneath this ribbon, or a couple of glue dots, but I want to get the tag on first and then put the glue dots on last. Okay. And then just trim those how you like. And then for the tag, I have used probably one of my favorite die sets, or most used out of the annual catalog, the tailor-made tags dies, because you have 8 sizes of tags and then you have these little tag reinforcers at the top. So I have used the second smallest, more standard size or standard topped tag for this. And I've cut that out of the shimmer white and also out of one of the In Good Taste papers. Now those In Good Taste papers are actually perfect for a project like this because you have lots of grays and browns and natural sort of prints and colors. And because they're like a mix of grays, you can have different types of grays in here and it will all kind of match. And it's kind of a purpley gray, so it's actually perfect for what I'm doing. I wanted to show you, I did find that this, when you die cut this tag, it's actually this long. It was just, I felt a little bit long for the size of my candle. But what you can do is cut it to the size it is, and then move your die up a few stitches, and you'll feel the die kind of slot into the little stitching grooves. And then run that through your die cutter again. You can even just run it over this end and then back, and what it will do is it'll cut off the end but still give you those stitches here. So that's one way you can shorten the length of these dies. Now I'm just going to set that aside. I'll put that over there, and I just wanted to add a little interest and color to this tag before we put it on. I've got my little reinforcer there, and I have Highland Heather and Smoky Slate ink and my blending brushes. And I'm just going to add a little bit of Smoky Slate down here in the corner. Now, of course, when you buy things that are not Stampin' Up! Products, they're not always exactly Stampin' Up! Colors. So you might need to kind of mix your inks a little bit and experiment till you get a look that matches nicely. And then I want to use one of these decorative masks, and I think I want to use this one. I kind of like this look with the bees. And I'm going to use Highland Heather and just brush on a little bit of the Highland Heather. And I might just go over a little bit with the gray so it's more the color of these gemstones in there. And I'm happy with that. Then I want to use my basic gray, so a darker gray, and the To and From, and this is actually from the Delivering Cheer stamp set. And that's perfect for tags. And then we'll put this onto our designer series paper, and I'm just gonna offset it just that little bit, so that you just see that little bit of color. Okay, and then I'll put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this, and we'll go ahead and adhere this to our jar. Turn it this way so you can see. We'll do it about like that. And then the last thing is I'm going to use some linen thread. And I know that it's already adhered to the jar, so it doesn't actually need to be tied on. It's just more decorative. So I've folded my linen thread in half, poked that folded end through the front of the tag, brought the tails through the loop, pull it tight, and then this we're just going to wrap around that knot, or pull it behind the knot, I should say, and make sure, yeah, your bow should be sitting so that your bees are right side up, in my opinion. And then I'm just going to loop that around. Okay, and then pull that tight, and then you can trim these to a long length or a short length, whatever you like. Oh, and I need to put a bee on this. I think that there should be a bee on the tag as well. And you can just decide where looks good there. All right, then I think our project is all finished, and you can personalize that to the person you are giving it to. Now I want to show you a few other examples. So this one is actually really similar. This is the first one we made, but it's got some black and white gems in there. And actually I forgot to do that, but you could add some gold leaf to the tag as well, just to bring through the gold. And this time I used a white ribbon. And then this one, we've got some blue gemstones in there and a seashell. So we mixed them and used the cork paper for the tag, which is nice. And on this one, we've got the tiger's eye gemstones with the bees, and use early espresso and cinnamon cider with those together. And then I saved the best for last. This is my favorite one. So this one, we've got the broken seashells in there and the bees. And I also just put in a few pearls there to go with the seashells. And this time used the gold cording and a bit of that beauty of Blackberry Beauty papers to go behind there, and did cinnamon cider and crumb cake for my colors. So I hope you enjoyed that, and give this one a try. These are lots and lots of fun. And thanks so much for joining me. This is Jackie Williams, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.